on hold on count 6. And as I stated, I find probable cause, so count 7 and 8, I'll just keep at the $1,000. And Clarence Smith.
Mr. Smith? He's approaching Judge at Maine. Yeah.
Okay, he's here on a violation of probation. It was a no bond hold. It's set on 4/8. Your hearing will be set 4/8 at 8:30 a.m. And I do find probable cause.
Thank you, Judge.
Basil Levy.
He's approaching.
Okay, I see you've been charged with burglary, voyeurism, burglary, and exposing sex organs in public. State, does he have any priors?
Yes, Judge. Vanessa Sablano on behalf of the state. He has a 2010 possession of tobacco by a person under 18 and a 2014 driving without a valid driver's license.
Okay. I find probable cause. Did you have any argument?
Yes, Judge. First question, is Mr. Levy eligible for a pretrial release?
On these charges, they don't recommend recommend pretrial.
Okay. Well, Your Honor, based on the fact that
I can order it though. I do have the flexibility to order it if you give me a reason.
Okay. Well, Mr. Levy is only 22 years old. He lives with his mom, and he's been in Broward County for 15 years. He's in the process of being enrolled at Atlantic Technical Center for air conditioning training. Given the fact that his priors are only misdemeanor driving offenses, I would ask if Your Honor would be willing to lower the bonds or issue a pretrial release for Mr. Levy.
Your Honor, the state is very concerned about the safety of the community based on these allegations. It's been alleged on 2 separate incidences he broke into people's property and exposed himself to them. I believe a GPS monitor would be appropriate in case he decides to violate the conditions, but I do believe a significant bond, is appropriate in this case to deter the defendant from committing these same acts in the future during the pendency of this case, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I disagree. Putting him on pretrial release, he would be monitored. He would have the opportunity to be monitored, which is different than if he were just to bond out. Mr. Levy cannot afford the $3,500 bond, but if it were lowered and he were able to afford it, he would get more supervision through pretrial release. So if the state's concern is, the nature of him being able to go and do the same thing again, he's going to have more supervision through pretrial release than he is just bonding out.
Your Honor, my concern is the GPS monitor will only notify the authorities if he does violate. I'm trying to have conditions set that will, 1, deter him from doing it again, but if he so chooses to do it again, then the authorities will be able to do something about it and bring him back into custody. That's the purpose of the GPS monitor. Your Honor.
Okay, what was the state's recommended bond?
Your Honor, the state would be requesting, in addition to the set bonds, and actually it says structures, but these are actually dwellings, and that normally he would be held no bond until until Your Honor sets a bond. I'd actually be asking for bond increases on count 1 and count 3 to $7,500 each. I'd ask for a $5,000 bond on count 2, Your Honor, and pretrial release of the GPS monitor. And if that means he can't stay at that residence by these neighbors, well, then that'll be the consequence of these allegations at this point, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm going to. And did you make a recommendation on the count 4?
Your Honor, I'm satisfied with the total bond of $20,000 with pretrial with the GPS. So I know at this point, count 4, there's no bond attached. I'm fine with the court leaving it at that. But basically,
Your Honor,
just asking for a total
I
bond of
would-
20,000.
Go ahead.
sorry, I would just like to reiterate, Mr. Levy is only 22 years old. A $20,000 bond is extensive considering the nature of his criminal history, which just includes driving offenses. I do understand the state's concern as to the nature of the offenses as charged today, but I disagree with it being increased.
Okay, then, on count one, I'm gonna leave it at 3,500. Count two, I'm gonna do 7,000. Count three, I'm gonna do 3,500. And, count four, I'm gonna do 7,000.
And Your Honor, as far
I
as
do find him to be a danger to the community based on the charges.
the state's request for a GPS monitor.
Well, he's not getting out.
Well, I frankly, Your Honor, I don't know. I can tell you, we've had people say, I can't afford that bond, and the next thing you know, 2 days later, a bond is posted. If he can't post a bond, then he won't be prejudiced by the GPS monitor. But if he can, then it'll be there.
I'm gonna require the actually, I'm gonna, give, pretrial as well, and he'll be on a GPS, and, he'll be evaluated.
And obviously, that includes no victim contact, Your Honor.
Absolutely
Thank
no
you.
victim contact, especially since it's a neighbor, no direct or indirect. He can't go within 500 feet of the victim, no guns, ammunition, weapons of any kind, no calling, emailing, writing, texting, don't visit or even drive by the victim. Okay, let's move to Samuel Brown.
Mr. Brown's present, Judge.
Okay, you are here on a violation of probation, which has a no bond hold, and it's set on 4/8 at 9 a.m. You also have a loitering and prowling charge. I'll keep the bond at $25.
Okay, so April 8th is your
I
next.
do find probable cause. Did you have an argument against it?
I would argue that there is no probable cause on this, Your Honor. All that's alleged here is that he was simply seen knocking on someone's door and then he rode his bike. According to the statute, what he's...
Actually, this
Mr.
is a
Brown?
violation of probation.
No, say it. Well, Your Honor, what I would argue, he was.
Let her
Oh,
finish.
sorry.
You're arguing.
It states here, it's unlawful for any person to loiter or prowl in a place, at a time, or in a manner not usual for law-abiding citizens under circumstances that warrant justifiable and reasonable alarm. Judge, all he was seen doing, again, is that he was knocking on the residence of a front door and that he rode away on his bicycle when he saw the officer. I don't think that there's nothing in that behavior that would say that it's a weird time at a strange place or in a manner that's not usual for law-abiding citizens. There's absolutely nothing unusual. It wasn't seen peeking in windows. It wasn't seen doing anything like that. He simply was knocking on someone's door, which is a perfectly standard thing to do, and then he rode away on his bicycle.
Your Honor, reading ahead on the next subsection of the statute, subsection 2, among the circumstances which may be considered in determining whether such alarm or immediate concern is warranted is the fact that the person takes flight upon appearance of a law enforcement officer. As alleged in this case, all the officer did was he pulled into the driveway, he didn't tell anyone to stop, the defendant then immediately took flight. Under the statute, the officer did have reason to believe that there was an imminent danger to the property.
Judge, I'd argue in response that among the circumstances which may be considered, and I don't think there's anything in this situation, and I'm aware that there's ample case law on the fact that flight and a loitering and prowling is not enough to sustain, and there's no other facts that would be consistent with the fact that any of his behavior was in a time or a manner that was not usual for law-abiding citizens. Knocking on a front door is completely consistent with acting in a law-abiding manner.
And what's your argument? I mean,
Your
she
Honor,
makes
this-
a good point. They were,
this-
the defendant was knocking on the door. Police officer rode up, and he ran.
And Your Honor, the statute's very clear. It's plain language. The officer can consider fleeing from upon appearance of law enforcement as a fact to determine whether there is alarm or immediate concern. It's right in the statute.
Okay, I'm gonna find probable cause or ROR on the loitering and prowling. He's on a no bond hold for the violation of probation. They can argue all those issues before the judge on the violation of probation. On count one, I found probable cause and I'm RORing. I'm not RORing him on the no bond hold for violation probation. Rodriguez Terrell Reed, violation of parole.
And this,
And it's a no bond hold. I don't have a date. Sir,
Thank
you're
you,
on a
Judge.
no bond hold for violation of parole.
I don't have dates for that.
Rocky
Thank you.
Stone Stimpile.
The parole board here. Yeah, I got it.
You have a charge of possession of PVP. Count 2 is drug paraphernalia. Count 3 is failing to wear your seatbelt, and 4 is driving with your license suspended.
Thank you, ma'am.
No objection from the state.
Okay, would Mr. Stimpile like to be ROR'd and placed on pretrial?
yes, Judge.
On pretrial,
My understanding, this is his first arrest.
on
Only 20.
pretrial, he'll be required to do a drug evaluation 2 times a month. He'll have a urinalysis.
Is that what you want to do?
No problem.
He's accepting that, Judge.
Okay, the drug test will be within 10 days.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck, sir. Reginald Lawrence. Okay, Mr. Lawrence, you are charged with possession of PVP and drug paraphernalia. State, any priors?
Not in the state of Florida, Judge.
Anywhere else? He does have priors. Can I hear him? While we're waiting, does he have any ties to the community?
Yes, Judge. He's been living in Pompano, with his mom. He's been here for 22 years.
Does he have a job?
Yeah, I do landscaping.
He says he does landscaping, Your Honor. If Your Honor would consider, after hearing
Wait, what?
the state...
Wait 1 second.
Okay.
I can tell you, Judge, at least two of his priors in Georgia were serious enough where he received prison sentences. Burglary, that was in '94, he was sentenced to 10 years, and an aggravated assault from '98, he was sentenced to 5 years.
Okay. And is he eligible for pretrial? Okay. He's not qualified for pretrial because of a prior aggravated assault.
That's the one from 1994, Your Honor?
98.
98?
98, yes.
Okay.
Okay. What was your request?
Your Honor, I was just going to ask if Your Honor would be willing to lower the bond, considering how long ago those priors were and the fact that he did serve time for those already, and that they're not related to drug offenses.
Okay.
Your Honor, I believe the $1,000 bond's appropriate. If the court is inclined to reduce the bond, even though I know pretrial is not recommending him, I would just ask that he, in that case, be placed on pretrial, because I think, frankly, that would be more effective than a reduced bond in this situation.
Okay, I will ROR him and place him on pretrial. He'll have to have a drug evaluation within 10 days, and I'll have urinalysis twice a week.
Would you like to accept that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Judge, he would like to accept that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. You two can go together.
ROR. Next person's Lutherson Montpremier.
Violation of probation.
He's a no bond hold on a probation violation for community control. His hearing is set for 4/8 at 8:30.
So that's when you can address.
Probable cause?
April 8th. You were on probation.
No, it's
I can hear you, Counselor.
Thank you.
Okay, Michael Feria?
Yes, Judge, he's approaching.
Okay, he has a violation of probation. It's hearing set for 4/8 at 8:30 a.m. A felony
you.
violation of probation, no bond hold. Breon Glover.
Stand over here.
Okay, he's been charged with fraud. State, do you have any priors?
Yes, Judge, there's a 2015 petty theft, and there's another 2015 petty theft that he was placed on probation for on March 23rd of 2015 for 6 months.
Okay, so he has 3 priors, very recent. Did you have any ties to the community or argument? I do find probable cause.
Yes, Judge, he works for Russell's Pool Services Repair for 3 years, and he has family here in Broward County. How long has he lived here? He's lived here his whole life. The bond is currently set at $1,000. He'd be asking if Your Honor would be willing to lower it.
Okay, I will set bond at $500.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Keith Sears, you are on a felony violation of probation. 4/8 is your hearing date at 2 p.m.
All right, thank
No
you.
bond hold.
Well, there's a downside to everything.
Thurman Hahn.
Han?
All you guys on the back row, come and fill in the seat, go up here.
Does Mr. Hahn have any priors, State?
Yes, he does, Judge. He has a 2015 petty theft and a pending grand theft.
Is that this pending or a separate pending?
A separate pending, Judge.
Okay. Does he have any ties to the community? Counsel?
Mr. Han has indicated to me that he can afford the bond as it's already set. He asked me not to make any arguments on his behalf. He's asking if you have any ties to the community.
Do you live in South Florida?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have a job?
No, I'm currently unemployed.
And Judge, if the court's not inclined to sua sponte revoke his bond, then the state would recommend a bond increase based on the nature of the priors and the fact that he does have another pending grand theft.
Where's the other pending?
It's in Broward County in front of Judge Contini.
Okay. I'm gonna set bond at $5,000. Felix Boyce.
I already put mine all through. Everything I was holding on to was VOPs.
Go outside.
Sir, you have a violation of probation. It's set for 4/8 at 8:30 a.m. You have a no bond hold on the violation of probation.
Okay. Thank you.
Claude Augustus Bell. Yes, I find probable cause. You have 3 counts of violation of probation felony. Your hearings are set for 4/8 at 8:30 a.m. No bond hold on all 3 counts.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. I have James Simone. I find probable cause. State, do you have any priors?
Yes, Judge, there's a 1989 cruelty to animals, a 92 delivery of cocaine, a 92 battery resisting without violence and a resisting with violence, a 2009 possession of cannabis, possession of paraphernalia, 2014 possession of cocaine, and possession of cannabis.
Okay. I find him to be a danger to the community. I'm going to sell on count 1, selling codeine within 1,000 feet of a school care park, $7,500. Count 2, selling codeine is $7,500 bond. Count 3, selling codeine is $7,500 bond. Count 4, possession with intent to sell, $7,500. Count 5, possession with intent to sell cannabis, count $5,000. And count 6, drug paraphernalia possession, $100. I find him to be a danger to the community based on priors.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Robert Jones.
North Broward? Yes, sir.
You've been charged with burglary of an unoccupied dwelling, unarmed. State, do you have any priors?
Yes, Judge, there's a 2000 possession of cannabis, a 2001 leaving the scene and fleeing and eluding, a 2002 grand theft, a 2008 petty theft, a 2009 possession of paraphernalia and possession of a new legend drug, 2009 leaving the scene, and a 2010 possession of a controlled substance, possession of paraphernalia, and a petty theft.
Okay, and did you have a recommended bond?
One moment.
And while we're waiting for you, do you have any argument? I see you standing and ready to go.
Judge, I spoke with Mr. Jones this morning. Mr. Jones has lived here in Broward County for 4 years. He was just laid off from his job. He was had a job doing construction with Lambert General Engineering Construction Company. His family lives in Citrus County, but his priors, as you can tell, are pretty old, and I don't believe he has any prior failures to appear. At this point, Mr. Jones is homeless, so we would request the court that they release Mr. Jones on his own recognizance.
Wow. He's gone to prison, too. Just got out of prison in 2010.
Okay, State, do you have any argument?
The state would recommend a bond in the amount of $10,000 based on the nature of the charge, the fact that this was in fact somebody's home. The state does have some serious concerns.
I can't see her. Your Honor, may I speak?
If you would like to, but I'm sure your attorney would advise you not to.
I would advise you not to say anything about your case.
You're here
Okay.
just for a bond hearing, so all I'm here to do is set bond.
Okay.
I do find, and to find probable cause, which I already did. You do have a number of priors. I find you, in that respect, to be a danger to the community. Also, if you're homeless, that gives me a problem with ties to the community. I'm going to set bond at $5,000.
No return to the
And Judge, the state would ask that if he does bond out, that there's no return to the location mentioned in the police reports and no contact with the people who live inside that home?
Absolutely no victim contact, direct or indirect. You can't go within 500 feet of the victim. No guns, ammunition, weapons of any kind. No calling, emailing, writing, or texting. Don't visit or even drive by the victim. And no return to the location mentioned in the probable cause affidavit. Next, Corey Hay. Corey Jason Hay.
Main judge.
I find probable cause on possession and failing to wear a seatbelt. State, do you have any priors?
There's a 2013 possession of cannabis.
Okay. Does he have any ties to the community?
Yes, Judge, he's been living in Broward County for 28 years with his mom. He currently works for a landscaping company called Hashan Property Maintenance. Been doing that for 3 months. He also has been in and out of Broward College for the past 4 years studying business management. He has indicated to me that he was previously in drug court before Judge Zeller on a misdemeanor case. So if Your Honor would be willing to ROR him or send his case to drug court and lower his bond or put him on pretrial release with conditions.
Well, actually, Your Honor, if I may, his case is still pending in drug court for Judge Zeller. He was scheduled for graduation April 16th, but I suspect when she hears about this, that won't be happening on that date.
Yeah, I would.
It might not happen on that date, but I'm sure he would have the
Okay,
opportunity to graduate at a
I'm gonna
different date.
ROR him. I don't find him to be a danger to the community. I don't find him to be a flight risk. I will reduce his bond to an ROR. I'll require pretrial. He'll need to be drug tested within 10 days.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Wait. Okay, I'm listening to you. Okay, Mr. Hay, I am reducing your bond to $0. I am allowing you to do pretrial. You will be drug tested. You will have to give your analysis twice a month. You'll also be required to go through your drug court program. But if you violate your pretrial program, I was just informed that you refused to do pretrial before. I want you to know that you're required to go to pretrial, and if you violate pretrial, you will be in violation, subject to incarceration. So you might be back in jail, and it will be much tougher to get out. So I just want you to understand that so that you do comply and use your best efforts to finish the program. Thank you.
I understand, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Good luck.
Judge.
Good luck to you. Okay, Pesce Schweinberger.
Yes, Judge, he bonded.
Okay, I did find probable cause. Nathan Berger.
How's it going?
Okay. You've been charged with grand theft. State, do you have any priors?
There's a 2012 possession of oxycodone, a 2014 possession of cannabis, and a 2014 possession of drug paraphernalia.
Okay, State. I'm sorry. Defense, does he have any ties to the community?
Yes, Judge, he does. He has his own trimming company. It's called Big Nate Tree Trimming. He's been doing that for 3 years, and he's been living in Broward County for 22 years.
Okay. The suggested bond is $1,000. What would you recommend?
Your Honor, if you would not be willing to ROR him, we would be asking for a $100 bond
Okay.
or
would he-
pretrial release if he qualifies.
Does he qualify? He has a place.
Drug court.
Hold on.
Okay, but he can't, I'll order him to, I'll ROR him, give him pretrial. He will be drug tested and be required to give a urinalysis.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Make sure he gets his drug testing within 10 days.
Within 10 days, yes, Judge.
Darius Hicks. Okay, Mr. Hicks, you've been charged with grand theft. State, do you have priors?
I'm not seeing any priors out of this state, Judge.
Hello? Hi, is this, sorry.
Okay,
Hi, this is Eric Linder over at
the
Sentinel.
suggested bond is
Hi.
$1,000. I can ROR him and put him in pretrial. Would you like that to happen?
Yes, Judge, he has requested pretrial release.
Okay,
And Judge,
then I will,
the state would just ask that there's no contact with the victim in this case.
absolutely, I will ROR him, pretrial release, and, there will be no victim contact, direct or indirect. You can't go within 500 feet of the victim. No guns, ammunition, weapons of any kind. No calling, emailing, writing, texting. Don't visit or even drive by the victim.
Okay, do you understand? Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Stefan Iparaguar.
That's correct, Your Honor. He's present. Hold on 1 second.
Okay, State, do you have any priors?
Yes, Judge, there's a 2010 burglary of a conveyance, a 2011 petty theft, a 2011 grand theft, a 2012 attempted burglary, and there's a pending robbery with no weapon in front of Judge Siegel.
I'm not sure.
Okay. What was your suggested
I-
bond?
The state would recommend a $10,000 bond based on the fact that this was a home and there was a victim involved.
Makes sense.
Okay. Does he have any ties to the community?
Yes, Your Honor. He's actually in school at FIU. He actually has class on Monday. He's studying international business. He's currently a sophomore. He works for Payway and Plantation, and he supports his mom, who is unemployed.
Okay. I do find him to be a danger to the community. I'm going to set bond at $10,000 on count 1 and $500 on count 2.
Judge, the state would ask that if he does bond out, that there's no return back to that home and no contact with the victim listed.
Okay, no victim contact and no return to the location. Gregory Jean Francois. Any priors?
I don't see any priors out of this state, Judge.
Okay. On Gregory Jean Francois, there's no in-state priors. He's been charged with grand theft, petty theft, fraud. Counts 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all fraud. Count 7, illegal use of a credit card. Count 8 is resisting without violence. And he has no priors. Does he have any ties to the community?
Your Honor, he's been living in Broward County for 8 years, and he lives with his parents, but he does not have a job currently. Considering that he has no prior arrests or convictions in this state, we would be asking if he's eligible for a pretrial release.
Does he qualify? I'm gonna keep bond. Okay, I'll reduce the bond Count 1 will be $500. Count 2, I'll ROR him. Count 3, will be $500. Counts 4, 5, and 6 will be ROR'd. Count 5, I'll keep it 100.
You mean count 8?
Count 8 will be $100. Count 7 will be $500. And I'll put him on pretrial release, and he'll be no return to the location.
Thank you, Your
To
Honor.
the entire Pembroke Lakes Mall.
Thank you.
So we're giving him a reduction, but he will be required to be on pretrial. It totals $1,600. Robert Lee Jenkins.
What about Broward College?
He didn't say anything about that. Jenkins?
Yeah.
You've been charged with possession of cocaine, driving with your license suspended, vehicle without lights at night, and side window tint. State, do you have any priors?
Yes, Judge. There's a 2008 uttering a forged instrument and a 2013 possession of cannabis.
What was the 08?
An uttering a forged instrument.
Okay. And does he have any ties to the community?
Your Honor, first may I ask, the 2008 uttering a forged instrument, Mr. Jenkins has indicated that that case was no infoed.
One moment, Your Honor. What was it out of? Do you know?
And I do find probable cause.
It's Robert Jenkins.
Yes, Judge. I apologize. I am seeing that it was dropped in 2008.
Okay, in light of that information, Judge, we'd be asking to see if Mr. Jenkins would qualify for a pretrial release, just based on the fact that the other case is drug-related. Perhaps you can make a condition of pretrial drug testing.
Does he?
But he cannot afford the bond as set.
Okay. Does
No,
he
he
have
has
ties to the community, a place to live, family?
Where do you live?
Yes, I have a place to live. I work, and I'm also in school, Your Honor.
Okay. Any objection to pretrial?
No.
No, Your Honor. We would just ask that included in pretrial he be drug tested.
That's all about it.
Okay, then I'm gonna ROR him, allow him to go to pretrial. He will be drug tested. You must be drug tested within 10 days,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank
and it
you.
will be a condition. Akil Peoples. Okay, I do find probable cause. State, do you have any priors?
I don't see any priors out of this state.
Okay. Does he have any ties to the community?
Yes, Your Honor. It's my indication from Mr. Peoples that this is his first arrest. He's 24 years old. He's been living in Miami-Dade County for 24 years, and he's living with his dad. He's also worked in security for 1 year and for yacht management services for 2 years. We're asking if Your Honor would ROR him.
State, what was your recommended bond?
The state would recommend keeping the set bond at 1,000.
Does Mr. Peoples has no job, or he does have a job?
Yes, he's been working in security for 1 year and yacht management services for 2 years.
And he lives with his family in Miami?
Yes, he does. He lives with his dad, and this is his first arrest.
Okay. I will reduce the suggested bond to $500 from $1,000. On the possession of cannabis, I'm not, ROR.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Johnny Diaz says he's here on a
Five.
here on a violation of probation. It's set for 4/8 at 8:30. The probation has a no bond hold, and it's a felony probation. Thank you. Barry O'Connor.
What's that, sir?
I didn't see a date that I might be open.
It is April 8th at 8:30.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. O'Connor, you have been charged with resisting without violence, corrupt by threat of a public servant or family, loitering or prowling, and you have a capias with a $100 bond. Okay, State. Yeah. State, do you have any priors?
I don't see any priors, Judge. I just wanted to check on one thing.
You can ask pre-trial if they have anything. Patrice, do you have anything? Okay. Keep checking. Nope, no problem. Oh, hey. Snuck up on me. Yeah, here you go. Hey. This is Eric. Hey, how's it going? I know. Thought everyone knew me. I'm all feeling, my ego's taking a hit now. Okay. Don't worry about it if you just. Don't worry, he's got nothing. Just tell the judge he's got nothing.
Thank you, Judge. It looks like he doesn't have any priors,
Okay.
except a pending city case.
Okay. Does he have any ties to the community?
One moment, Your Honor. Your Honor, he's indicated that he lives with his girlfriend and he's been in Broward County for 16 years but is currently unemployed.
Okay.
We would be asking if you'd be willing to lower the bond on count 2.
Okay. All right, I will set bond an ROR on count 1.
Wait a minute.
Count 2 will be $500. Count 3 will be an ROR. Count 4, 100.
He did have priors.
Thank you, Your Honor.
He did have priors, but don't worry about him.
I'm sorry, I got you confused.
I know he's got priors.
Okay, Cameron Russell. Okay, Mr. Russell, you're here on a violation of probation, which the felony probation will be heard on 4/8 at 8:30 a.m. You are on a no bond hold on the probation violation. The operating without a valid license, I'll just set at $25, and the disobeying a traffic device will be ROR.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. I do find probable cause. Brandon Hamrick. You have a petty
I
theft,
don't have your PC.
second degree petty theft. Count 2 is a petty theft, second degree. Count 3 is battery on an officer, firefighter, EMT, etc. And count 4 is corrupt by threat to a public servant or family. And I do find probable cause. Does he have any priors?
Yes, Judge. He's got, it looks like he has theft out of Palm Beach that he pled out last year. And he also has an open disorderly intoxication and obstructing an officer without violence out of Palm Beach, open from last year.
Okay, does he have any ties to the community?
Your Honor, Mr. Hamrick has indicated that he currently is homeless, and he's only been living in Broward County for 6 months. And he's unemployed, so he can't afford the bonds as they're already set.
Okay. Based on the priors, based on the actions I've noticed, the allegations, I'm going to, I'll reduce the petty theft from $100 to $50. I'll reduce the count 2 petty theft from 100 to 50. Oh, that's not what it says here.
When was that done?
He was magistrated yesterday, and the Judge Hurley left it ROR.
Okay, if Judge Hurley ROR counts 1 through 3,
Well,
I will ROR count 1 through 3. However, count 4, what did he do? No bond on that?
and I'm sorry, Your Honor, you have, I believe you have the findings right there. Did Judge Hurley ROR on the findings? Okay, I just want to make sure, 'cause that seems...
On his, it's 100, 100,000, 1,000.
Yeah, he didn't RR, he had it set
No,
for
that's,
Friday.
you're on the wrong person. This is tampering. Your Honor, nothing was done yet.
Okay. I'll reduce the petty thefts from 100 to 50, but I was going to keep the counts 3 and 4 at 1,000.
I know there's no way Hurley would ROR on.
Your Honor, would you be willing to reduce counts 3 and 4 to 500 each?
No.
Okay, thank you.
All right, will you do me a favor? You take this stuff up. I mean, just, I guess
Martin Chauncey.
ask Mary Ann what you should do. I guess, I don't know if you should just leave it on keep. I guess they could leave it on keep his desk. Oh, he's still on loan,
He's on
Judge.
medical loan, Judge.
Okay, then we'll just do a medical reset. Christopher Cohen.
Why is he back now? It wasn't, though. The judge...
Okay, Mr. Cohen, you are set for a violation of probation on your felony 4-8 at 8:30 in the morning, and you're on a no bond hold on that
All right.
probation violation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think that's it.
I don't have any more on my docket. Is there anything else I need to do? Oh,
No, thank you, Your
correct.
Honor.
We did skip one. Jennifer Tucker. Did we find her?
Jennifer.
Well, and they're gone. Let me...
Supposed to go to Dean Broward, I think.
So is she not? We'll do a reset for tomorrow. Jennifer Tucker.
Good suggestion.
I want everybody to have a happy and healthy holiday season.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor. It's a pleasure. Have a great
Thank
day.
you.